So I'm going to make 2 trellis wall arches with some wood that I had left over from other projects. And then I also bought some fence pickets, and they're going to have a planter box on the bottom. Make the planter box out of this piece of wood right here that I had left over from a project from inside of the house. And then I am going to have 2 planter boxes, and then I'm gonna use these pieces of 2x2s, these 2x2s, and I'm gonna actually cut down this piece that I didn't use later, which has 2 2x2s on as well, to be the inside support of the planter box. I'm just gonna screw in panels from here on these. I'm gonna have 4 of these, the correct heights, and then they are all going to be supported onto these fence pickets. And then I'm going to put a piece of traditional trellis arbor material in the back to actually make the wall. So let's see how this works out. Okay, so first I'm going to take my board and I'm going to cut it in half this way. Okay, I'm gonna cut it in half so that I will have 2 planter boxes that are the same size, so that the actual height and it's going to be determined basically on this board. Okay, so my measurements are all based off of me using this one board for 2 boxes. So I don't really have a complete blueprint plans made. Okay, so the board itself is 8 feet. It measured out to be 96 inches. So I'm going to cut it in half, right here, 48 inches at 4 feet. And then we will cut that in half again. Well, you'll see. Okay, so I marked it and I'm going to draw my line all the way up so I have a nice cut line for my jigsaw. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces. No, my line's not perfectly straight. A lot of movement because I have it set up kind of just rigged up on the ground. But I have 2 pieces, 1 piece here, 1 piece here. Now I'm going to cut each board in half down the middle again. So I have 4 pieces. No, I'm gonna cut each half first, cut it in half. So I have 2 pieces here, and then I'm gonna cut each of those in half. No. I'm lying. I'm gonna take this board and I'm going to actually cut it into thirds. Yes, so I'm gonna cut this board into thirds, and then one of those thirds, I'm gonna cut it in half. Okay, and that will give me my 4 pieces. I have 2 longer rectangles and I have 2 smaller ones. So for the front, the back, and then the sides will be shorter. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this board now into thirds. Okay, cutting it, hopefully this goes well. Okay, so I have my board divided up, so it is 16 inches, of course. I'm gonna cut these, and then I'm gonna go ahead on. Let me go ahead and measure this board as well, so I can make all my cuts at one time. Okay, so I have my boards. First, they aren't perfect because I'm cutting them on the ground with a jigsaw, but it's all right. Okay, so I have all the boards, and I'm going to cut 2 of the boards in half, going this way. Okay, I'm gonna cut them going down. So if they're cutting going where we were before, I'm cutting it now this way. I'm also gonna make sure that I keep my sets because I know they aren't cut perfectly. I'm gonna keep the 2 kind of halves of the boards in 2 different piles so that I know that they are the same height, so that even though they might not be completely equal height from planter to planter, this whole planter will all be the same height from all 4 pieces, so they'll all match up. Okay, so now I have it measured out at 10 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this now half of 10. So my height, okay, this is gonna be the height of the planter. I think that's right. Yeah, this can be my height. And now I have a piece of 2x2 put here, and a piece put on this side, and all connect. Okay, so now I've taken one big board and I have now made 8. Okay, so I have 2 sets of 4 that I am now going to put together with my 2x2s to create the boxes. Okay, so I have pieces from my my sides. As you can see, I've cut this down now, so I'm gonna screw everything together. Hopefully it won't take too long. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm using remember, I'm trying to make this for practically free, or more like prepaid. So I'm using leftover screws I have from a project from years ago. These are actually pocket screws, but they work perfect on wood. So these but they're great. They were something that I already had. I didn't have to go out and buy anything extra from an outdoor project. I'm really trying to just use and reuse and use up things that I already own. One, to get rid of it and to stop being wasteful. Okay, so this is a pocket screw bit. So it's longer, it's very long, but it's square versus being pointy. Okay, so it is different. Okay, so now I'm going to just put it together like a bunch of cheap IKEA furniture. The piece is kind of lined. I'm going to have to cut some off, trim some edges up, but I'm going to just put my screws in. Keep it in line as much as possible. And that's it. And I'm going to do this piece. Okay, I'm going to do this piece right here. You can see this like that. Line it up. Okay. There's definitely some cleanup work I'm going to have to do. It's all right. Okay, so this is the one I use by use clamps. Fourth screw. I'll put 2. Finished. I'll come back and I'm gonna cut off this excess that's up here, and let me do the other small board. Okay, so box number 1 is almost finished. I have to cut off those top pieces so they actually match there, and cut some off on the bottom. Eventually I will paint it black. I don't know if I'll do that today. I probably won't. I don't really feel like doing it today, but I'm gonna paint them black to match the colors that I have going on here. But yeah, I'm gonna paint it black at some point. Maybe I stain it. I have both. I have paint and stain. We'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna do it black. Now I think about that. See how it's open? I have fabric grow bags already that have the plants inside. I want to just put my entire grow bag inside of here. I'm not going to line it with anything else. I'm gonna leave it open. I'll just put the whole bag with the plant that I already have inside. I think I like it. Now I have to add the back onto it, as well as the diagonal pattern trellis. So I just see, I turn the box upside down, put my front side, down to the ground. Now put 2 screws in. That's it. These are actually roofing screws, so they're leftovers from when I made my planter box. But now I'm just cutting these down. I'm going to do 4 pieces, so each one will have 2. One will go on the top, and one, I'm not sure I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I think I may put it in the bottom, so you have a gap in the middle. So it'll be trellis panel here, blank space there, trellis panel there. I think it'd be easier, one with just measurements and it will allow me to use one panel that I had left over from doing this project back here. I bought 3, only needed 2. I can use what's left over and just use all of it on here. So let's keep going. I ended up taking my 4 squares and turning them on their sides for this diamond shape. Everything got screwed in and I love the way it looks.